This is Steve from Mission Bell Communications. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at Motion.Page, which is a brand new plugin that just came out within the last week or so. And this uses the GreenSock animation platform to basically add animations to your website, and it's actually pretty easy to use. So I'm going to just give an example of some animations that I can do like on this page. So I've got my builder open. I don't actually need my builder open. I'm just going to go to the front end here, and I have the plugin open here. Now actually I need to refresh. You're going to start out from here. I'm going to say I want to create a new timeline, and then I need to find the page. So in this case, it's the maintenance page. All right. And then we can start working on our animation. Now you see here you've got your page here, and then you've got your timeline down here. So let's just say that we want to have this content right here animate in. So what we can do is we can decide, okay, do we want that to be on a page event, i.e. when the page loads? Do we want it to be a scroll trigger? Seeing as this is at the top of the page, we don't want that to be a scroll trigger. Or an interaction, so a click or a hover or something like that. So I'm going to go with a page event, and then this red box here is the animation selector. So we need to just find the selector of whatever it is that we want to animate. In this case, I'm going to animate this this div right here, and I can select its ID. There we go. And then I can start adjusting things. So you can set a from and a to point. If I don't set anything for the to point, it's going to be whatever the default is. So let's just say, for example, we go with a translate, and I want, if I click on percent there, it can go to pixels. I can say I want a translate Y of 50 pixels. And opacity, I want the opacity to start at 0. So now if I come down to my timeline here, you can see this fades in. Now this is a pretty standard effect. There's lots of ways you can do this. But this is pretty easy. And we can add more things to it. You can see here, you can scale, you can rotate, you can skew, background position, background color, any number of these things you can edit along the way. So we've got that. Now, if I were to save this animation, and then if I went to the front end here and I load my page, you can see once it loads, it pops in. Now I can go and I can change this to after load to make sure that the animation doesn't fire before the item is actually rendered on the page. And I can save, and if I refresh here, you can see that that animates in. Now I'm going to do another animation here. We'll say we want a new animation, and that animation will drag this along the timeline. But rather than this being on the load, we want this to be a scroll trigger. And I'm going to choose my selector. I'm going to choose this column. Now, rather than choosing the ID, I'm going to choose the class. So right now, all of these have the same class. They're all going to animate. So if I were to say that what I want to do is a translate Y of 100%, 100%. So these are just going to slide in here like that. All right. So that's cool, but something else I wanted to add in here, there's this stagger feature here. And so what I can say is animate them all in, but stagger them. So in this case, I'm going to say, like, we'll say 300 milliseconds apart. And then you can see when they come in, they kind of come in one at a time, which is pretty cool. Gives us a little more visual interest. Now, we also have these different easing functions. So well, I'm going to try this one here back, which actually it goes a little bit too far and then backs up a little bit. So you can see here it comes in, overshoots a little bit, comes back down. It kind of gives it a nice little look here. And then I can hit save. And when I go back to the front end, there we go. That's a pretty cool little animation, and we did that in just a couple of minutes. This, can do a lot of really complicated animations, and it can make it really easy. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I hope you find that helpful.